What's going on, everybody? It's Flash back with some more charts and another video. Today's Monday, July 8th, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July if you celebrate or in the States. Today we're going to get right to it, look at some charts, mostly on the weekly time frame, I think, for today. I'm going to go through our main tickers here. I'm going to leave the ratios out of it and maybe separate that into another video because they are kind of building up here on the right-hand side. But just kind of go through these, let you guys know what I'm seeing, and just having that bigger picture perspective in mind. And obviously we're going to start with URA on the monthly. We can zoom in a little bit here. We're still holding this accumulation cylinder. We're still above monthly defined support, right around 28 bucks. And if we bring the moving average in, it all still looks really, really good. It really looks good. So we just need to let this, price kind of do its thing. If we zoom into the weekly here, we'll take the moving average back off, and what we'll add in is the sine line. Kind of shows our time cycles, if you will. And so let me zoom out a little bit. But again, this is something I've kind of stuck with ever since I kind of stumbled upon it, again, by @TradingHurst on X, showing a beautiful cyclic rhythm in the URA index and the broader uranium equity space, right? So if we kind of follow this through, we're set to kind of bottom or trough, I think, late July. So I think that's kind of what price action is telling us right now. It's representing like we still can have a little bit more downside to go. I'll drop in on the daily. We'll get hike and a she so we can kind of see the candles in a little bit of more of a momentum perspective, but late July is, just a few more candles away. I think we could see a little bit more downside or continued sideways action. And that's just me kind of, again, applying these time cycles, keeping the bigger picture in mind, and we just got to hold tight and kind of sit through this as painful as it may be. But over to URNM, again, not much has changed here. We're in an upward descending channel, another channel here. Maybe we could throw on a similar trend line like that. That might be a little bit of aggressive of an accumulation cylinder, but we at least have that going for us right now. Over to URNJ, similar look and feel, not as clean, not as much data on URNJ. U.UN, the physical trust, it's wedging out. We could see one more lower low to maybe shake people out. But this also has done, an A, B, C type correction. And that could be it. That could be the only correction. So I'll keep following this, but I think we're kind of just wedging out into support. And then the price of the metal itself, we're still waiting for a breakout here on the weekly. But that looks very, very explosive. Kind of reminds me of back here or, even like right here. Okay, like I said, skipping the ratios, we'll jump into CCJ. And here, it's a little convoluted with the sine line, the cycle. But again, we're finding, I think we're going to find either support on this trend line or the bottom of the green one. The bottom of the green is definitely a bigger drop. We still have some time until late July, so we kind of want to see this start to round out, similar as what we did back in February and back in October of last year, and even back in April or March of 2023. So kind of just want to see this begin to round out. Okay, we're playing the long game here. Over to Paladin. Paladin is a little bit worrisome. I will say we lost this primary trend channel. Only had 2 touch points on it, so we can't give it that much credence. But again, this is maybe a support line in here. I'm kind of just playing along with, URA has that accumulation cylinder, so we're kind of seeing that in Paladin. Over to Bannerman, we're kind of seeing that too, and we're getting a green candle to start off the week here on Monday, July 8th. So we want to see this trend hold, and we want to, again, begin to kind of round out and turn up. If it does start to occur like that, this is a very attractive price point for Bannerman especially. You can get bunch more shares at 320 as opposed to 460, for example. Over to FSY, again, we're on the weekly time frame. Big pullback in FSY. Honestly, very ugly. Not what I was really envisioning. We can even kind of maybe throw a little bit of a a descending wedge, descending channel, and then a breakdown out of that. You'd think that could be a capitulation low. So we'll see here. Again, we'll see what FSY does with the rest of the uranium equities as we hopefully begin to trough and bottom mid to late July. Deep yellow. So deep yellow I was kind of playing around with. I found this little trend line that has a couple intersections here, and I connected it to the top bar up here. But if we zoom out on deep yellow, not as a clean looking chart. I may take this off for now actually. But we are right in this like consolidation pocket, below resistance, two resistances and an arc of support. Very interesting time here in deep yellow. If we can get above this and maybe get a little bit of explosive here, I would say that looks really, really good for deep yellow. So let's keep our eye on that. We'll go back to the weekly and we'll go to Denison Mines, DNN. And again, I was playing again with the time cycles here and just giving me more confidence that we're going to hopefully begin to bottom. But we definitely want to hold this support line. We have this other one right underneath us. So again, we just want to see some green candles showing up. But it may take 2 more weeks. Lotus, similar to FSY, big pullback, but we do have a rising support channel. So we want to see if we can kind of find support here and maybe form some sort of ascending triangle. Lotus has been a great performer, and so I guess a pullback was necessary. Over to CGN Mining. I'm going to zoom way out onto the monthly for this one. And I was playing around with kind of a sideways bull here, a parabola, if you will. And so big base here on CGN. Now we're in this upwards green channel, and we're in an upwards channel within that channel, right? So a lot of channels going on here. We got a big geometric arc or bull, whatever you want to call it. We'll see where that 3-year moving average is, and look where that 3-year moving average shows up, right on this green trend line and on the bull. So that's kind of the backbone is really the 3-year moving average and the Ichimoku cloud, which I haven't had on in a few videos now, but you really want to ride the 3-year and the Ichimoku cloud up in a bull run, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So I'll get the Ichimoku cloud back on in maybe the next video or two, just so you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, so those are the A players. We'll go to the leaders of the pack here, just short of being A players. I was actually playing around with Encore Energy as well. And this is kind of like a half of a bull, right? There's a lot of touch points here. There's no data because we IPO'd in October of 2013, but you kind of have to wonder what Encore Energy would have done back here, and we just don't know. But that being said, this could be a cup and handle, like the end of a cup and handle. I know there's no data that points to that, but it's kind of just fun to envision. But we're at support there's 2 bars, 2 trends here in the middle of this channel, and we're at support. So this could be a really good, we could move Encore up into the A players category, I think, if we get a breakout here, because this looks so strong. Okay, over to Boss Energy. I took off that rising wedge because I just needed to kind of clear that up. Put in this support line here. So if we drop onto the monthly, kind of a similar thing as Encore. Like this could be viewed as a cup and handle, right? Big cup, a little bit of a handle here, consolidation, breakout. Now we're just retesting. Breakout, retest on the bigger picture time frame. But this market is so small that these moves, if we go up, you're going to see those crazy returns, I'm thinking. And so again, we kind of have an A, B, C correction. We want to see if we can get above that A, and that could maybe mark a potential bottom for Boss Energy. Over to Alligator Energy. This one just looks so much cleaner on the monthly. Down sloping resistance line, bullish bull flag consolidation underneath macro monthly resistance. You're kind of squeezing up a little bit here. If we go on to the weekly, the price it's being less volatile. So I think a move is coming. Hopefully it's to the upside for AGE. Okay, over to UEC. Again, you have that big cup and handle almost, just a big base, and this looks like it could be a bull flag underneath huge macro resistance. That's what we want to see. Over to next gen energy, just a normal consolidation here. We gotta kind of maybe retest this as support again. You know, you can argue that we did or didn't. Maybe we can move this up a little bit, and we're kind of testing it right now. So honestly, next gen looks good. Just gotta let price action kind of do its thing. Over to Silex, one of my new favorites. We'll zoom way out for Silex onto the monthly. And this is, you know, these are potential channels, right? Nothing is confirmed. But I mean, we're at 530 today, and the top of this channel is at 140. So I mean, you got these rails of support in between this channel. So Silex really looks interesting. Could also start moving this up into the A player category potentially. Okay, over to Yellow Cake. Pretty simple upwards trend line, bull flag in the middle of it. You want to see it go higher. Got that ABC. Making a lower low, shaking people out. Not going to shake me out. ASPI, we got to go on the daily for this one. We got this time cycles in here. It's following it more or less to a T, right? And so, I don't know. This price action looks a little shaky on ASPI. Like it's not, kind of has like some bear flag vibes to me. So we'll see. But that bottom, late July, is coming in hot. So get ready for it. Okay, over to Centris. And so yeah, Centris is also doing this ABC. I've had this marked out here for a little bit now, but I'm thinking we're gonna make a lower low here and shake people out of Centris. Hopefully maybe find support on these rails. But we're squeezing up. We certainly are squeezing up for a big move in Centris. Hopefully it's to the upside, right? Elevate Uranium. I was kind of playing around with this. These don't really look great, but you know, you have your A, you have a B, you have a deep C, deeper than others. This is kind of a bear flag here for Elevate. You know, I'm thinking here's an ABC to the upside. We broke this A, and maybe we're gonna retrace this move. Yeah, I mean, we're right in that retracement zone, I'm thinking, right, of this small little move. ABC to the upside, move down into a bear flag, and that's the 618 of this whole move. But it's also, if we want to get real fancy, it's at the 1-to-1 pretty much of that first down move. So I don't want to crowd the chart too much, but this could be a retracement zone for Elevate. Sky Harbor, man, really kind of letting us down with the arc especially. You know, I keep extending this out, and I hate to do it, right? Because it kind of defeats the purpose of the arc. But where's that 3-year moving average? Yeah, so we're under the moving average. The trend is really, it's just pretty much sideways, guys, on Sky Harbor. But the chart pattern, the bullish chart pattern is there. You know, big base, double bottom, breakout. We're consolidating. You could argue we're still basing out. But we're above critical support. There's a lot of transaction volume in here. So I think it's just a matter of time for Sky Harbor. Same thing with Laramide. Man, this chart just looks so good on the monthly. We'll zoom in on the weekly for Laramide, but we're also kind of consolidating into some sort of, you know, sideways triangle. You know, we want to break through this big green box of resistance, and the sky's the limit for Laramide. Honestly, if this train can get going, which I think it will, Laramide will be one of my premium holdings. I'm going to be honest, not financial advice. Mega Uranium, we'll zoom out again on Mega. Here's the monthly time frame. Bullish wedge. Got to break through monthly defined support. That's really the name of the game today, is consolidation below macro support. But it's just clean. It's a clean looking chart. And that's the thing about this uranium space, is a lot of these charts are so clean in the way they're forming their consolidations and their arcs, and it's a little bit easier to chart rather than a gold miner or a silver miner or an oil and gas play, for example. So that's why I love uranium especially. Over to energy fuels. Again, still consolidating, still needs more time. We'll keep it pretty simple. Can Alaska, kind of a crowded chart, but you can kind of see a breakout and a big retest and a bullish falling wedge here. Again, if this uranium space gets going, this is a really good zone to be looking at Can Alaska. Western uranium, still got to just trust the bull. Trust the bull as support. We're going to ride it up. Okay, over to UROI. UROI I've kind of found some clarity on because, you know, bullish falling wedge. Looks like we have another bullish falling wedge. Some sort of rounded bottom here you could make the argument for. And again, if we're going to be bottoming in late July, UROI could get very interesting here as well. F3 uranium, again, another simpler chart. Ascending triangle it looks like right now. With a clear, looks like this could be a clear breakout line for F3. Like that. Over to CAP. Again, similar story. It also looks really good. Like, if this thing gets going, you know, what is the measured move here? You know, we break this horizontal at $47, you know, through 2027, you could be looking at, it's only a 300% move. So not huge, but not small, definitely. And who knows, we could even bust out of this upwards channel. We'll see. Fission, similar look and feel as F3. Big monthly resistance right here. There's only really one touch point. I mean, maybe two touch points here, but we might even be better off making this a vertical or a horizontal support line. Kind of like that. And then global atomic, it's finding its way. I will say it's finding its way. Needs more time. But you can make this look like a bullish chart, and I've done that. But we'll see. We want to break out of this horizontal. Okay, over to the laggards. We'll keep it on the monthly for now for BSK. I don't know, man. This is either a mega bottom for BSK or it could be dead, but we'll see. Over to Lightbridge. I got a request to look at Lightbridge, so here's my kind of first take on it. I put it in the laggards category because of its performance against CCJ. I mean, look what it's done against CCJ, just down and to the right. So until this proves otherwise, you know, you'd just rather be in CCJ instead of Lightbridge, plain and simple. But again, if you think Lightbridge is a good stock and you think it could round out this arc and maybe break out of this horizontal, I mean, there's some huge percentage moves available in Lightbridge. You know, from here through the top of this bowl, it's 4,700%. So, I mean, something to consider if you want to maybe take a little bit more risk, but not financial advice. And then FMC, again, FMC is one of those charts that's given me a lot of clarity, right? We'll zoom way in here. Bullish wedge consolidation. We'll zoom out onto the monthly, find that 3-year moving average. We're below that 3-year moving average. We want to be above that. We want it to be rising. So that's why, you know, I'll take my brush here. This moving average, we're going to want to see curl up like that. So price is going to have to do some really bullish things to make the 3-year moving average do that. So that's why I'm not as excited about FMC and why it is lagging. But the chart patterns are there. Okay, over to base load. Doesn't light me up. AEC, I think, is still rounding out. This is kind of a huge big picture chart, but still needs a lot more time before I'll really get confident in it. Same thing with Penn. And then GoviX, man. The thing about GoviX is you have these kind of 3 lower lows. And when I see that into a capitulation low down here, so I mean, this could be a mega bottom. I don't want to call the bottom, but if we can somehow get back above these downsloping resistance lines, GoviX could be a play, but I'm definitely not recommending it right now. So that's it, guys. Those are my tickers for today. Drop me a like, drop me a sub if you're interested, and I'll see you guys in the next one.